So it says, collecting data. So that's where we're starting tonight. We're starting on collecting data. This whole week, we're going to be focusing on collecting, organizing, and summarizing data. And tonight, in our topic tonight, we're going to be focusing on collecting data. So number one says to us, look at the research questions below. Choose which statement represents the population and which statement represents a sample of the population. Now, guys, those are terms that maybe you haven't heard before, especially if you haven't started statistics or data handling at school yet, and you're like, man, what's a sample? What's a population? Well, I know what the population is because we learn about it in LO and we learn about it in geography, but why does it have anything to do with maths? Okay, let's go make ourselves some notes on these two terms. All right. If we look at what a population is, okay, it says a population refers to the entire group or set of individuals, objects, or observations about which you want to draw conclusions or make inferences. So that's a very fancy word. Okay, so it's something that you're making an opinion of, pretty much. It represents the complete collection of the elements that you are interested in studying in. So okay. So if we're looking for a population, we're looking at everything being included of the thing that we want to study. All right. If we're looking at a definition for that, for example, if you're conducting a survey about the preferences, so preferences, their likes and their dislikes, of all adults in a specific country, the entire adult population of that country would be your population. Okay. So other examples that you could think of there, if you were looking at let's think about it. If you're looking at the number of people who enter a shopping center, okay, on a Thursday, all right, then you're looking at all the people who enter the shopping center. That's the entire population. All right, the entire population, all the people who enter the shopping center. Okay. All right. Whereas if you're looking at a sample is a subset, fancy, or a smaller group selected from the larger population. So it means we've taken our population and now we've just made it a bit smaller. It is chosen to study or analyze because it's often impractical or impossible to collect data from the entire population. Okay, so if you're wanting to do some sort of study or analyze some sort of figures, all right, let's take our shopping mall example. We're going to look at another example here again. But let's say we're looking at the shopping mall example. For you to go and look at how many people enter the bank for the into the shopping mall for the entire day, all right, that is going to take you a long time. And then if you're taking all those people's details down to then contact them at a later stage, oh my goodness, that is going to take you forever to do that entire population. So what might we do with those people who've entered the shopping center? Maybe we say to ourselves, all right, we're going to bring it in a little bit, okay? We're going to bring it in a little bit. We're going to say, out of the whole day, there were maybe 1,000 people that entered the shopping center. Let's say it's a busy day in December, okay? All right, we're shopping. All right, so it's Christmas shopping. It's 1,000 people that have entered the shop, all right? And out of that 1,000 people, instead of asking all of them a question or phoning all of them or getting all their contact details, we're going to take a sample of maybe 50 people out of that 1,000. All right. Another way of looking at that, if we have a look at this sample, it says, using the previous example about the preferences of all adults in a specific country, then if we collect the data from a group of 500 adults in that country, those 500 individuals would form your sample. So instead of getting information from the entire country, we're just looking at 500 people. All right. Does everybody understand what the difference between a population, all these people, and a sample of the population? Are we all good? All right. All good. Okay, while you're taking a screenshot of that or making some notes, Mr. Hugo has put a link there or he's made a really amazing comment. Mr. Hugo, do you want to tell them about it while they're taking a screenshot or copying these notes down?
Yes, I just didn't want to interrupt you, Teacher Kirsty, but it is in the chat, guys. You can go read that message as well. The good news is that all the previous quizzes that you guys have done for Watobe is available for you guys to go and attempt again. So I think, like Teacher Kirsty also said, it is a great exam practice to go per section that we did and check if you actually understand what's going on and maybe just redo the quiz again, since those quizzes are available for you guys. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Hugo. I think it's a great practice, guys, because you get your marks straight away. You can see, do I still need to practice this section, or have I got the section? Good. Have I got it down? Okay. Hopefully you've got this. Hopefully you've got this in a screenshot, and we are ready to carry on, everybody. All right. So if we're looking at the questions below, all right, we're going to have a look at those. I'm going to give you a few minutes to look at them, and you're going to choose which one represents the population. So remember, all people, all right, and which one represents the sample of the population. Okay, so maybe a good idea it would be for you we're going to look at A and we're going to look at B. Let's start with A. All you need to do is next to the points, I'm going to put numbers there for you, and you're going to go write whether it's a S, P, or S. S for sample, P for population. All right. So for the first question, it says, all right, how much dry dog food does a dog in your neighborhood eat per week? So how much dry dog food does a dog in your neighborhood eat per week? Now you're going to look at these examples or these numbers that they've given you, and you're going to say, are they talking about a sample or are they talking about a population? Okay, have a think about it. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to have a look at that, not very long. Okay, if you want to write the question out, you can see if you've got enough time. So 1 more minute. Right, 1 more minute. All right, so S for sample, P for population. Probably have about 30 seconds left. Thank you. All right, guys. Let's have a look. Who wants to tell me what they thought? Who wants to give me their answers? All right, I see a hand up. Sigma. Hi, Sigma.
Hello, Miss.
Okay, talk to me, Sigma. How are you? Sorry, by the way, first. How are you, Sigma?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thank you, Sigma. I'm glad that Monday's finished, but I am good. All right, Sigma. So, how much dry dog food does a dog in your neighborhood eat per week? Okay. What are we looking at if we're looking at your dogs and your neighborhoods, your neighbors' dogs? Is that the sample or is that the population?
That's the population, Miss.
Okay, so this one is tricky, Sigma. I know it's tricky. So I'm just going to go through it really quickly again. So they're looking at how much dry dog food does a dog in your neighborhood eat per week? So would you agree with me, all right, that if we were looking at this, that maybe the neighborhood dogs would be more like the population, hey?
Yes, Miss.
So if we had a neighborhood and we had all the dogs in the neighborhood, that would take care of a population. But if I'm
Yes,
looking
miss.
at just my dogs and maybe my neighbor on my right, my neighbor on my left's dogs, then that's going to be a sample. Hey? Does it make
Yes,
sense?
miss. Yes, miss, it does.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, Sigma, stay with me. If I'm looking at all the dogs in the neighborhood, what is that? A sample or a population? Well
Population.
done. Well done. A population. And finally, last one. If I'm looking at one dog from each street in the neighborhood, sample or population?
Population.
Okay, careful. What did we say? What did we say? That the population was going to be all the dogs in the
All the
neighborhood.
dogs.
Okay? That's it.
So it's a sample.
So, exactly. It's going to be a sample. Because I'm
Sample.
just taking one dog
One
from each
dog.
street in the neighborhood. Well done. All right. I see Kale asking me, ma'am, what if there are only 2 dogs in the neighborhood? Oh, Kale, if there were only 2 dogs in the neighborhood, then I wouldn't have my dogs barking all the time. That would be amazing. That would be a wonderful life. But we all know that there's lots of dogs in neighborhoods normally. All right. So we're not thinking about only 2 dogs. Only if they tell you there's only 2 dogs in a neighborhood, then yes, that would be the entire population. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at B. Mr. Hugo, I love how our grade 7s already think that their teachers are trying to trick them and they're only in grade 7.
Oh my words, they picked up quickly that maths, they're always going to try and trick you guys.
Absolutely.
Just make sure that you are
Alright.
always the more clever one.
That's it, Mr. Hugo. Okay, guys, there is our next question for you guys. How many people who enter a bank on a Thursday in 2020 are there to complain? Okay, so how many people that enter a bank on a Thursday in 2020 are there to complain? All right, I'm just going to move this up for those people who are still writing for the previous one. Okay, it depends on your bank, hey guys. How many people are going to complain about the bank? No, I'm joking. But how many people on a Thursday would be there to complain? Okay, 2 more minutes. You've got 1 more minute left. All right. You probably have about 30 seconds left. All right. Oh. Okay, let's have a look, guys. Tara Jane, you had your hand up first. Tara Jane, how are you?
I'm getting you.
Good. Right, Tara Jane, talk to me. How many people who enter a bank on a Thursday in 2020 are there to complain? Now, let's look at the first one. It says, all the people entering the bank every Thursday in 2020. Sample or population?
I said it's a population.
Well done, because it's everybody, every single body that comes to the door, that's going to be a population. Well done, Tara Jane. Nice. Next one, Tara Jane. 120 people, 10 that were taken at random on a Thursday each month in 2020. Sample or population?
A sample.
Sample. Well done. And finally, last one. 45 people that entered the bank this week, Thursday. Sample or population?
A sample.
Well done. Because it's
Thank
only
you.
45 people who came in. Well done, Tara Jane. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we are working our way through these. I'm going to leave these up like this for you in case you want to take these down. I'm going to go put some numbers next to them so it makes it a little bit easier. And I'm going to bring our final one for you. Okay, it says, how much does it cost for a haircut in a particular mall? So we're looking at, okay, how much it would cost for a haircut. So we're going to go do our research, all right? And we're looking at how much it would cost for a haircut in a mall. All right, so now remember, okay, if we're looking at going for a haircut, we're going to go to a hairdresser, hey? Okay, so how many people, or let's look at the hairdressers inside of a mall. All right. Ma says they will only complain if you used $1 to build the place and the owner has no employees. Very true, Ma. Then they've got lots to complain about it. All right. So how much does it cost for haircuts in a particular mall? Okay. I'm gonna give you 1 more minute. 1 more minute for those people who might still be working. Oh, guys, I was wondering why our class is so small today. Supposedly, we're having a few problems with Watobe, the app today. But I'm so glad that you guys are all here. It's so nice to see you all. But our class is definitely a bit smaller today. But it's really nice to see all of you here. And I'm so glad that you guys managed to make it online. So well done, guys. Well done. Ma'am, are we giving the price or labeling whether it's a sample or population? You labeling whether it's going to be a sample or whether it's going to be a population. Okay, so you labeling whether it's going to be a sample or whether it's going to be a population. Okay, Lungoa has had her hand up and her hand up. So, hi Lungoa.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you, ma'am?
I'm okay, thanks. Right, Lungoa, talk to me. All right, if I go to one hairdresser, is that a sample or is that a population?
A sample.
Well done. If I go to all the hairdressers in the mall, is that a sample or a population?
Population.
Well done. And if I go to 4 of the hairdressers in the mall, sample or population?
Sample.
Sample, well done. Now, someone's going to say to me in the chat, Lungoa, they're going to say, ma'am, what if there's only 4 hairdressers inside the mall? Lungoa, if there were only 4 hairdressers inside the mall, then what would it be? Then it would be the population, because then it would be all of it, hey? But did they tell us there were only 4?
No.
No. Okay, so it's going to be a sample. Well done. Thanks, Lungoa.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Well done, Lingoa, and thank you so much for your answer. I just want to say quick sticks, guys. B, you guys are so privileged to have a mall with 4 hairdressers. In town where I stay, in the whole town, we only have 1 hairdresser, okay?
Oh, Mr. Hugo.
So for
Mr.
me,
Hugo
whether
lives
you
in a
say the
very small
mall or
town.
the town or the city, 1 hairdresser will be the sample and the population and everything.
Mr. Hugo. All right, guys. So lucky Mr. Hugo's got good hair, hey guys. Obviously his hairdress is quite good then, hey? All right, so D, go have a look at D, guys. All right, how many grade 7s in South Africa enjoy team sports? How many grade 7s in South Africa enjoy team sports? All right, now what is a team sport? A team sport is something like rugby, like we won, or it could be something like cricket, which we are also busy playing in at the moment, or it could be soccer, or it could be hockey, or it could be netball. Those are all team sports. Okay. All right, we've got people dancing on the camera today. My goodness, people are in a good mood today. I like it. Yes, we did win against the New Zealand team, guys. Well done. We did really well. Absolutely. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to shuffle this up for you because I'm hoping you've all got that last one. And I'm going to bring this one onto the screen for you as well. All right, the last question there says, what is the average diameter of an onion bought in Plet? Plet as in Plettenberg Bay. It's a little town here in the Western Cape. All right, so what is the average diameter of an onion bought in plates? So if you finish D, you can go try E for us as well. If you finish D, you can go and try E for us as well. All right, so if you finish D, you can go try E for us as well. Some people are asking, ma'am, can you go up to the previous question? Well, hopefully this isn't too small on some of your screens. There we go, guys. Okay. Yes, thank you, Umar. Ma'am, other team sports are track and relay and swimming relays, so as water polo. You are correct, Umar, absolutely. All those are also team sports. All right, let us go to Mr. Hugo, you can pick somebody. There's so many hands up there, Mr. Hugo. I can't pick somebody. I'm going to make you pick somebody, Mr. Hugo.
Okay, I pick Lishay.
Hi, Lachey.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. And how are you, ma'am?
I'm good, thanks. Right, Lachey, let's have a look at D together. So, how many grade 7s in South Africa enjoy team sports? All the grade 7s at your school?
That's population, ma'am.
Good, well done. Would be a population. 20 grade 7s from 12 schools around South Africa.
That's a sample, ma'am.
Well done. And finally, all the grade 7s in South Africa.
It's population.
Well done. What's the difference here, Lachey? How did you work out which was population and which one was sample? What's the word that gave it away?
Ma'am, by number one, the reason why it's population is because it said all grade 7s.
Well done. Nice. And number 3, because it also said?
Because it said 20 grade 7. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Because it also said all the grade 7s. Good. Well done, Lachey. Thank you so much, Lachey.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Hugo, I'm going to call on you again, Mr. Hugo. Can you pick somebody else? There's too many hands for me, Mr. Hugo. Too many people.
Okay, next I have Lungalwa going crazy on the camera. Let's try her.
Hi. Hello again, Lungawa.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay. Lungawa, let's go. What is the average diameter of an onion bought in plates? Okay. 7 onions Kobus got at the shop by his house. Sample or population?
Sample.
Well done. That would be a sample. All the onions in plates?
Population.
Well done, because it says all, hey? And finally, 5 onions from each shop in plates?
Ma'am, I'm not sure about the last one because I wrote both in just in case.
Ooh,
But
okay.
Used.
Let's have a look. So we're going into each shop in plates, and we're not getting all the onions. We're not measuring all of them. We're just taking 5 of them, hey?
Oh, so it's a
sample.
sample.
Well done. It's going to be a sample. Well done. Thanks, Lungawa.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. So let's have a look at our next question, guys. So it says, I will move it up for those people now. I don't like that next question. Let's look at the next part. Number 3. Give 4 reasons why the question below is not a good scientific question. So give 4 reasons why the question below is not a good, okay, scientific question. All right. Now, it would be a good idea for us to know what a scientific question is, hey? So when we're looking at a scientific question, All right. So let's go back to our notes page, everybody. All right, let's go back to our notes page. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back this side. Okay. A scientific question is the fundamental element of the scientific method. All right. And the process of the scientific inquiry. So fancy. All that it means that it's a question that is posed in a specific, all right, and systematic way to guide the scientific research and investigation. Okay. They're meant to be testable, measurable, and empirical. In other words, you can put like centimeters or meters or something like that to them, meaning that they can be answered through observation and through experiments. Okay, so let's write a note on that. All right, I'm going to bring it across for you. All right, so we're looking at, oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to put here for you, oh dear, a scientific question. Scientific question, all right, is a question that is a question that is posed. So posed means asked. It's a question that's asked in a specific and systematic way. Okay, so it's asked in a certain way, all right, to guide the research and investigation. Scientific questions are designed to be testable, so you're able to test them, measurable, so you can measure them, and empirical. In other words, you can answer them through observation, so that's just by looking at them, or by experimenting on the answers that they've given you. All right. Okay. So I'm going to give you a few seconds just to take that down. All right. So what's an easy way to make sure that you've got a good scientific question? So what's an easy way to check whether it's a good scientific question? Right. So good scientific questions. Number one, if it's a good scientific question, it means you can test it. You can actually set up an experiment to find out if maybe rock music makes plants grow faster than classical music. Okay, so if it's a good scientific question, it means you can test it. So for example, you can set up an example, all right, you can set up an experiment to find out if we're looking at plants, if rock music makes plants grow faster than classical music. Okay. The next way, like we said before, right, number two, is it specific? So is it specific? You're asking about a particular thing when it's specific, okay? So for our music example with plants and the rock music, the type of music and how it affects plants. It's not a vague question like what makes plants grow fast or grow better, all right? It's a specific question, okay? Does rock music make plants grow faster? Right? And the last thing, number three, you can see it happen. So that's another way to test if it's a good question. You can see it happen. But in this case of the rock music, you'll be able to watch the plants and measure their growth. So it's based on what you can observe. So there is the note all about scientific questions for you.
Teacher Kirsty,
Mr. Hugo.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there at number 2, could we maybe add that a question is specific when it can be answered by yes or no?
Oh, I like that. Absolutely.
I
All
think
right.
that is something that'll be easy to remember. A specific question you can answer by only yes or no. Because if you ask, for example, what makes a plant grow better, then it's not going to be just yes or no. You will sound stupid if you say yes or no to that question. But if the question is like it is here, if rock music does make a plant grow better, then you can say yes, it does, or no, it doesn't.
That's a great way of looking at it, Mr. Hugo. I like that as well. Fantastic. Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully you have that down. I'm going to move it a little bit up in case anyone wants to take a screenshot of that. All right. I really like how Mr. Hugo added that in. Yes or no. Okay, so let's go back to our worksheet. Our worksheet says, give 4 reasons why the question below, okay, is not a good scientific question. So give 4 reasons why this question is not a good scientific question. Okay, I want you to think about it. Look at that. Look at the points that we wrote there. Okay, and then give 4 reasons why that is not a good scientific question. All right. Give 4 reasons why it's not a good question. Okay, you don't have to give me all 4 when you answer, guys. I'm just looking from 1 from each person who lifts their hands. So give 4 reasons why the question below is not a good scientific question. All right, I've got a few people with hands up, so I'm going to take some answers. Let's start with Bernicia. Hi, Bernicia.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
Good on you, ma'am.
I'm good, thanks. Right, Bernicia, give me a reason why this is not a good scientific question.
Ma'am, I say because you can't grow from 0 up until 5 because it is impossible. So it's not a scientific question.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bernicia. So Bernicia is absolutely right. She's saying for number 1, okay, that it's saying how tall do people grow 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 50. That's not very specific, hey? It's not telling us what does that mean? What is that? So it is not a specific question. Not a specific question. So it could be specific if they did something, all right? And I'm hoping somebody talks to us in somebody else gives us their reason and maybe they pick it up. But at the moment, how it's being asked, it's not a specific question. Let's go to Melo. Hi, Melo.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. I feel
Good.
like the intervals are not equal.
Fantastic. Well done, Melo. So we've
Yes,
got
ma'am.
intervals, so 0 to 5, and then we've got 5 to 10, and then we've got 10 to 50. So if you were a 5, how do you pick the first one or the second one? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then if you were a 10, how do you pick the second one or the third one? So the intervals aren't right, okay? The intervals are not, first of all, like you said, the intervals are not equal, you said, hey?
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Are not equal, all right? So the first interval is 0 to 5, so that's 5. then 5 to 10, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's 6. And then it goes 10 to 150. Guys, that's not an equal interval. Melo is absolutely right. Thanks, Melo. All right, let's go to Ramsey. Hi, Ramsey.
Hello, ma'am.
Long time no hear from Ramsey. Right, Ramsey, give me your reason.
Ma'am, I said it cannot be answered in a yes or no question, ma'am.
Good, I like that. You can't answer this one in a yes or no question. Well done. So Mr. Hugo was saying to us earlier on, thanks Ramsey, that if you need to be specific, you need to maybe answer in a yes or no question. In terms of this one, I agree. You can't answer this in a yes or no. But, so the question's not specific. I agree with you. What happens though if we had to fix the answers? What happens if we had to fix the answers and we had to give some units? So in this case, there's no units that have been given. Okay, so if they had to give us some units there, if they said, how tall do people grow? 0 centimeters to 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters to 250 centimeters, then that would make the question a little bit more specific and we could actually go and select an answer. All right, so I agree with Ramsey. It's not specific. You can't answer yes or no, but that's also because the answers aren't specific as well. All right. Okay, Umar, what do you have for me?
Ma'am, is it because it's that you can't observe how tall the people grow because it will take like multiple years to observe them like every single day?
That's a really good thing as well. Umar's saying like what, and also Umar, what age are the people? Hey, it's something very specific. Like they're just saying, how tall do people grow? Like, do you want to know like a specific age? Do you want to know when they're 12? Do you want to know when they're 50? I completely agree with you, Umar. So it's not very specific, hey?
Yes.
Awesome. Well done, Umar. All right. So like Umar says, for number 4, you could say there's no time period given. So they haven't given us a time period. Okay, we don't know how old they want these people. We don't know which people they're talking about. All right, and going with that, for number 5, we could say, okay, they're just saying, how tall do people grow? Well, which people? Do they want all the people in the world? Do they want people in South Africa? Do they want people within the Western Cape, people within KZN? Do they want people in Australia? Okay, so the population is not specific either. Population is not specific. Oh, I'm running out of space. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Exactly, Umar. I like that. Okay, guys, so I think you have a really good understanding about what's the difference between a sample and a population, and we've looked at scientific questions. Let's move on to our next worksheet now. Let's move on to our next worksheets. Right. So let's move on to our worksheet, which talks about organizing our data. Okay. So our first point there says to us, decide which type of data is numerical or categorical. So describe which kind of data is numerical or categorical. Let's go make a note for ourselves very quickly. So if we have numerical data, okay, it's data that we can assign numbers to. Let's see, Ma'am's spelling today is terrible. Numbers to. Okay, so data that we can assign numbers to, stuff that we can add. Okay, so numerical data, stuff we can assign numbers to, stuff that we can add. So for example, if I had to say to you, how much rain fell in the month of November, all right? What would you go and do? Maybe you go put a measuring jug outside at the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, you go and measure how much water is inside that measuring jug. You can assign a number to it. If I had to say to you the number of ice creams that are sold in January, what could you go and do? You could go to a shop and you could go and ask them for their data, and you could go and add all the numbers that they sold. So those are numerical data. If we're looking at categorical data, okay, categorical data, there we're looking at items which can be described. So data that we can assign a description to. Data that we can assign a description to. Oh my gosh, ma'am, what do you mean? So if we were sitting at the robot, okay, and we were looking at the color of cars that people prefer. All right, so then we're looking at the color of cars. Is that the number? No, we're looking at blue or green or red or yellow. Okay. If we're looking at where people's favorite place to go on holiday is, okay, where your favorite place to go on holiday is. For some people, it's Romania, so i.e. home, Romania. Okay, that's where I'm going to be this holiday in December. For some people, it might be Eastern Cape. For some people, it might be the Western Cape. For some people, it might be Durban. Okay, so that is categorical data. All right, Umar's telling me Dubai. I love it, Umar. I wish I was going to Dubai. Okay, so we've got numerical, numbers, and categorical. So for our first question, you're going to state whether each type of data is numerical or categorical. Okay, you can put a D or an N for numerical and a C for categorical to help yourself out so it goes a bit faster, but go and have a look at that for me. Okay, oh, somebody's saying Canada, my goodness, Brazil. All right. Okay, while you're busy thinking, guys, I'm going to do a quick shout out very quickly. I know that Mr. Hugo is probably going to reply to people who are sending us messages about doing questions. If you go onto Watobe Wizard and you want a concept explained to you, all right, and you ask Watobe Wizard to give you a description, it's going to give you such a good description as well, guys. So if there's something that you're not sure of, or you aren't 100% sure on how to get that, then go have a look on Watobe Wizard, ask them the question, and it'll also explain it to you. It's another great place where you can get an explanation, okay? All right. Yes, Enzo saying, ma'am, Watobe Wizard really helps. I agree, Enzo, it really does. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this question. I'm starting with Kwame. Hi, Kwame. Kwame, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, Kwame, talk to me. The temperature over a day, is that numerical or is it categorical? Oh, yeah, I think Kwame, your sound is going a little bit.
Categorical.
Okay, so I think Kwame said that it was categorical. I'm just going to explain to you. So if you take the temperature, how are you going to measure the temperature? You're probably going to measure it with a thermometer, hey? So if you can measure something with a thermometer, then you are measuring it, okay? And it means you can give it a numerical value. So the first one is going to be numerical. All right. The number of words in a book. Tando. Ooh. Sorry, Tando, I'm coming to you next. Letabo. Hi, Letabo.
Hi.
Letabo, talk to me. The number of words in a book, is that categorical or is it numerical?
Numerical.
Well done, because I can count it. Hey, well done, Letabo. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
All right, so this next one is going to be numerical because it's the number of, so I'm adding it. All right, Tando, let's try this again. Hi, Tando. Tando, can you hear us? Oh, Tando, I think maybe your sound might be a bit off. All right, Tando, tell us in the chat your answer. Let's go to Itandile. Hi, Itandile.
Hi,
How are you?
fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. Itandile, talk to me. Favorite pets of a class? Numerical
Yes.
or categorical?
It's categorical, ma'am.
Well done. And Tando agrees with you in the chat. Thank you so much. You are right, Tando, categorical. Well done. Thank you so much. All right. Let's have a look at our next one. The number of cell phones per week over a year. Shady, what's the quick answer for that one? Number of cell phones per week over a year.
Ma'am, I said categorical.
Okay, let's talk about that. If it's asking me for the number of, okay, then what are we going to go to? Good, we're going to go count it, hey? So we're going to have numerical. Well done, Shady. Thank you so much. All right, and I'm seeing people whose hands I've never seen here before, so well done, guys. Let's go with Zawande. Hi, Zawande.
Yes, miss.
Zawande, talk to me. E, the color of cell phones that people prefer. Is that numerical or categorical?
Numerical.
Okay, let's be careful here. Can you count the color? If
No,
somebody
no,
says to you-
no.
Ah, so what's it going to be?
Categorical.
Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you for answering the questions. All right, everybody. So, well done for everybody for participating tonight. Mr. Hugo is going to put up the poll question for you guys. I am going to stay online in case there's any questions. I know that there was one person who asked me, ma'am, can you please explain something to me? I'm going back to check who that was. So, Orotil, if you want to stay and raise your hand, then I can maybe help you if there aren't any other questions from class tonight. Otherwise, guys, please go and answer the poll for Mr. Hugo. There are 77 of you at the moment. We would like all 77 of you to answer the poll, please. And then we will see the rest of you on Wednesday. Thanks so much, guys. Okay, let's go with Shady. Hi, Shady.
Hi, ma'am. Could you
What's your
please scroll up
question?
to the scientific questions and how to answer them?
Of course I can, no problem. Do you want
Like
the
the
one that
notes you made.
Yeah, the notes we made. Okay, cool. There we go.
Yes.
Must I make it a bit smaller for you?
I'd just like to take. Yes,
There we
please.
go. There we go, Shady. I'm just gonna make
you,
this
ma'am.
so that you see those words. You are welcome, no problem. Thanks, Shady. All right, let's go. Kwame, hi Kwame.
Hi, ma'am.
What's up, my love? What do you need help with?
Ma'am, I would like to know that if you have 25 or 2.5 times 25, and
Kwame, I'm so sorry, my love. I'm just going to do this quickly. Kwame, we can't really hear you very well. Your sound keeps cutting in and out. Do you want to maybe put your question in the chat for us and we can see if we can try answer it there for you? It sounds like a long question, but put your question in the chat for you for us, and then we're going to try answer you there. Okay, thanks, Kwame. All right, Brianna. Hi, Brianna.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay, what's up, Brianna?
Ma'am, I need a tip of giving exams, ma'am.
You need a tip for giving exams.
Ma'am, no, ma'am, during the exam, we have, we're writing maths on Friday, next week, Friday.
Ooh,
So,
lovely.
ma'am,
Okay.
so if our maths paper is divided into 2 papers, ma'am. So how can I study for both papers when I need to study for one?
So are the papers both on the same day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is what you're going to do. All right, you're going to treat the maths exam like it's one exam, like it's one paper. You're going to stop thinking about it like, oh my goodness, it's two papers, it's two different exams. You're not going to think about it like that. What you're going to do, Brianna, is you're going to say to yourself, while I'm preparing and I'm getting ready to write this exam, okay, I'm going to study all the topics that I need to know for maths. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to practice. Mr. Hugo's put some really nice tips for you as well in the chat, okay, and you're going to study for all your topics for maths, okay. Then
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure that has your teacher told you what's in each paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then you're going to then start. So that's what you're going to do this week because you're only writing next week Friday. So you're going to practice as much maths as you can, all the maths, all the maths, all the maths. Then on Monday, what you're going to do is you're going to start saying to yourself, okay, now I'm going to practice doing this many hours for paper 1 and this many hours for paper 2. Or let's say that you plan to study an hour for maths every day. Okay, let's say that that's what you've planned to do. So really good example to study for an hour for maths every day. For half an hour, you're going to work on questions for maths that'll be on paper 1. And for half an hour, you'll work on questions for maths that'll be in paper 2. And then on Tuesday, you do the same thing. Half an hour questions for paper 1, half an hour for question 2. Does that make sense, Brianna?
Yes, ma'am. And also, ma'am, can you tell me the important things we have to do in integers? Because that will be in paper 1.
In integers. So those are the lessons that we had. I think we did them in term 2, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Hugo. I think I'm right. Okay, so what you can do, Brianna, is go back onto the YouTube channel, onto Watobe's site, and find those lessons on integers and go watch them. And then when we do an exercise, press pause. Look what the question is, do the question, and then press play and see if you get it right. Watch the thing,
Okay,
press pause, do the question, and then, you know what I mean?
yes,
That's a
ma'am.
really good way to see what's important for integers.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Brianna. No problem. Bye. Okay, Bernicia. Hi, Bernicia. Bernicia, I know you've been waiting for me. Hello. Oh, Bernicia. I don't know if your sound maybe isn't working. I'll come back to you, Bernicia, because there's 2 more questions and then I'll come back. All right. Lejo. Hi, Lejo.
Hi, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. I'm good. Ma'am, I just wanted to ask, ma'am, for what you call it, ma'am, for algebra, ma'am, are we gonna do a revision lesson?
So I did do a small revision lesson a little while ago. I think that teacher Monique did it in her exam prep. All right. In the last week of Watobe, which might be after your exams already finished, maybe we will have a look at a little bit of algebra then as well. So it's the last week. So I think it's the 22nd and the 21st. So the 20th and the 22nd. We'll have a look at some algebra again then as well.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Cool. Thanks, ma'am.
But in the meantime, Lejo, do you use Siavula, that free website that Mr. Hugo has put the link in before?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Oh, do you? Okay, good, because there's some really nice practice on algebra there, hey?
Okay, cool, ma'am. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Lejo. All right. Bernicia, if you want me to answer, you just got to lift your hand again, my love, and then I'll be able to answer your question. Guys, I'm taking 2 more questions. Right, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good, thanks. How can I help, Caitlin?
I don't understand the scientific question part.
Okay, so when we're looking at a scientific question, Caitlin, it's kind of like when you're setting up the experiment or you're setting up the research, you're making sure that your question is a really good quality question. That's what we're looking at here. So for example, here, okay, when we were looking at this, can you test it? Is it specific? Can you see it happen? This is kind of like if you were growing a plant and you were playing rock music to it and you were seeing if it was growing. Does that make sense, first of all? So you've got like this little plant, little seed, and some, I don't know if you've ever done that before, where you put it into the cotton wool and then it starts growing. Hey, have you done that before, Caitlin?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what you do is you put your seed in the cotton wool and then every day you just play rock music to it all day long. Rock music, rock music, rock music. And then you take another plant and you don't have anything, you let it grow outside in the wild, okay? All right.
Okay.
So a question that you're going to ask yourself is, can you actually set up the experiments to find out if it's growing faster than if it's using classical? This one's using classical, not in the wild. All right. So could you set that experiment up? Is it realistic?
Okay.
Is that a realistic experiment to set that up where you play rock music to one little seed and you put the other seed maybe outside and you play classical music to that little seed? Is that something realistic? Pretty much, hey? That's a realistic thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can test that. The second thing, is it specific? All right, so is it specific? So it's not something vague. So you're not like, oh, I wonder what music's going to make it grow. No, no, no. The one's getting rock music, the one's getting classical music. Okay, so that's the question that you're asking. Is it making it grow or is it not? Okay, so like Mr. Hugo said, you can say, can you answer with a yes or a no? And the last question is, can you see it happen? So if it's a good scientific question, can you see this experiment actually happening? Or is it like something like a figment of your imagination, like play? Okay. Can you actually see that little seed? If you've done that before with a cotton wool and then it grows its roots, can you see it actually happening?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. All right. So that's what makes it good. Okay. Makes sense?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.